What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Still a family, still a nation, and anyone else who may be viewing. Welcome to the post-game reaction show. Myself, SimFBallCritic, is your host, brought to you by the Still Basement, aka the Virtual Shore. For you guys that don't know, that is the nickname that I have for the stadium. I won't call it by the other name, no disrespect. I just call it the Shore. So welcome. Wow. We're talking about a victory. We are not accustomed to doing so this season. Feels good to be doing that, right? And we're going to dive right in. Not going to be before you too terribly long. I want to try to get this one to 30 minutes. I actually have some things I'm doing after the game. Have to eat dinner, and I'm actually going to see Wakanda Forever. Myself, my wife, my son, father-in-law Leonard, we're all going to see that at about 6:20 Eastern time. No spoilers, please. Please, no spoilers in the comments. Don't do that. I don't understand why people do that. So no spoilers. All right, but let's be quick, efficient, and let's have a little bit of fun, man, on a victory Sunday, if you will. So first and foremost, let's say hello to the early commenters. Vista Light, Wave Dave, Reggie Reg, Steelers Cards, Leonard Green. Hello, the real Missy. Hello, Miss Lady. Appreciate you coming through. Make sure you guys take time out to say hello to our lovely ladies. I see another one. Hello, Miss Lanisha. Thank you for coming through as well. Make sure you guys say hello to the ladies. Excuse me, BQ412. Who else we got up in here? Rajan39, Jared Devil, Brandon Cheney. What's up, Marlon? Marlon Nicholson in the building. Mr. Fleetwood, my man Y Diggy in the building. Donovan Hubbard. T-Dog, Zuri Rivers, Maurice Ware. Irvin. It just jumped on me. Irvin Garcia, what's going on? Tina Williams. Hello, Tina. I'm assuming. I hate to assume in today's climate, but I'm just going to assume that's a female listener, viewer. So hello, Tina. I'm not going to say Miss Lady until you confirm that. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody. Again, you can't assume in today's climate. So I'm just going to say hello, Tina. I'm thinking you are a female listener, but until you confirm, I would just say hello. Astro Drip, Jay Underrated, Lawrence Holcomb, my man Build His Life in the building as well. Alpha God 256, what up, what up? All right, man, let's get into it. I'll wait. I'm gonna wait 2 seconds to see if Tina replies, really quick. But what a game! I mean, yeah, great win. As is it Rico Parsons says here, great win. There's still some things these Steelers are gonna have to work on. Obviously, I think we saw the young group out there scrapping and fighting. Again, you're seeing the maturation of Kenny Pickett. He's still making some errors, some mistakes, but he shows his gutsiness, his moxie, if you will. I think this guy is going to be a relatively decent quarterback. Thank you, Tina. She says, yes, I am a woman. Hello, Miss Lady. Thank you for coming through. We always take care of our ladies over here, so we always want to make sure we give you all a special hello. So, fellas and ladies in the chat, please say hello to Tina. Welcome her as we do all of our other lovely ladies. Let's get right into it. Hey, Leonard, I see Leonard, father-in-law Leonard. Like I told you guys, we're going to the movies after this show. We're going to eat dinner. We're going to go to the movies, so I cannot be long tonight, and I will not be long tonight. So let's get to it, man, the way that I normally started. We're going to start off with talking about a few things like inactives. We knew it was Boswell, and oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, that was a miss. Boswell and Minka, Spoon, Isaiah Riley, Mason Rudolph, Kendrick Green, and Mark Robinson once again inactive. Man, let me talk about Minka really quick. That's a blow, bruh. That is a real blow. And actually, I'll wait. I'll talk about that later because I don't want to take up too much time here. We'll get to Minka in a second. But definitely missed Boswell. You can see that jumping right off the screen. You might have missed Minka as well, but we were able to compensate for Minka. With Casey returning, Casey played relatively decent. I mean, I can't wait to watch the film so I can see what he did in plays that weren't highlighted. That's when it's always cool to see how guys are playing when you watch the film, when you're not just watching the TV game where they're highlighting, who made the tackle and all of that. You get to see everything else. So it looks like Casey had a great game. He was Johnny on the spot when he got his interception. So it's good to see him contributing already back in the fold. I only wrote down one injury. We saw Najee go down early in the first quarter, but he did return. I don't think there was another one. If it was, I missed it. I do have 2 office visits. We'll get to those at the end as well. But only thing else I wanted to talk about really quick before we dive into the first offensive and defensive series, penalties. Man, and the ones that I just pretty much wrote here, I could have missed one, but I wrote kick catch interference by Pierre in the second quarter. Can't have that. I do feel like the receiver, the returner kind of ran into him. I don't think that Pierre intentionally did that, but still you got to be aware of where the ball is relative to where the returner is catching it, so you're not called for that. KZ got called for a hit on a defenseless player. Let me tell you something. Can I do something? Y'all gonna be mad at me if I do something about that one? Round of applause. Round of applause, Casey. That's the football I know. Again, it's a penalty in today's football. You can't go high. You can't not hit him in the head. I will say it wasn't necessarily helmet to helmet, but to the rule, to the way the rule is written, to the letter of the law, is basically he went high on a defenseless receiver. I get it, but that's the football that I like. That's that back in the day. Even when I played in the secondary, that's your opportunity. If they catch it, the next opportunity you have to make a play, knock the ball out. So I'm going to do it again. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me, y'all. Casey, for that hit, round of applause. I'm sorry, guys. That's just the football that I remember. You know what I'm saying? That's how you let them know what type of ball game it's going to be out here, and let the receivers realize what they're going to have to be looking for as they go across the middle or as they stretch out for a ball. So shout outs to KZ on that one. But it was a penalty, so you got to acknowledge it. Marcus Allen gets called for holding on a punt return. That was the first punt after the second half. Come on, Marcus Allen. You ain't even playing a lot anyway. Your opportunity is on special teams. You can't be getting penalties when you're out there. And then we were called for an illegal formation. They said Fryermuth wasn't covered up. That was in the fourth quarter. Right now, I don't know whose fault that was, but it just said that number 88 was not covered up. But those are the only penalties that I have. I might have missed one or two, but those were the key ones. All right, so let's get right into talking about the game, man. First offensive series, we did get the ball first, and it went just like this. Kenny Pickett misses Pickens on first down target. Yeah, it was a little sloppy pass there. Kind of missed him, Kenny. There was a quick pop pass to Gunnar O. We only saw Gunnar, to my knowledge, only that one time. He may have been in the game other times, but that was really the only time his name was called. Pick up 4 yards on that, brought up a 3rd and 6. Pickett was able to find Pickens for the first down. So again, Pickett to Pickens is a combination that we all should get used to saying that. Good contested catch at that. I notated that was that's what we need out of him. Those were the things that he's done for us already so far in his rookie year. And those were the things that we needed to see more of from Chase Claypool. Again, I'm not the one that's going to dump on Chase Claypool. I think Chase Claypool has a purpose in an offense. He may just not be the beast receiver that some people were wanting him to be. I think Claypool's going to have to be put in the right situation, right offense, and he's going to have to get better with the contested catches. Remember the game that we won earlier in the year when him and Mitch was connecting. I think Claypool made some phenomenal catches in that game, but again, wasn't consistent enough. And the reason why I'm even talking about that is that was a perfect example. That was a contested catch, right? Man to man, Pickens comes back for it, he catches the ball and breaks the tackle. Those were the things that we didn't get enough from a guy like Claypool, which Pickens is already doing. So again, I say watch out for that combination going forward. Pickett to Pickens. Sounds pretty good to me. Najee picks up 3 yards on the next run. Then Pickett throws the ball away on a 2nd and 7. Was nothing open. Brings up a 3rd and 7 and still is unable to convert the Freiermuth. I put here was great coverage by Chris Harris. And then Harvin was able to punt the ball down to the 8-yard line for the Saints. But again, unfortunate anytime, man, the Steelers, whenever your team doesn't, get any type of points on the first drive, you can't always expect it. But again, it's a little bit of a letdown because anytime if you possess the ball first and you can score, you set the tone. When you don't, it gives the deferring team the advantage, which we do quite often. We like to defer. So, Steelers didn't come away with anything there. Defensive series, the first one, there was a false start by the Saints. Backed them up half to the goal line there. So half the distance. I think it put them back on the 4 at that point. Steelers were able to force a 3rd and 13, and the Steelers were able to get off the field with the 3 and out. So kudos to the defense right there. Again, offense didn't do anything with their first possession. You turn around, you pitch a 3 and out. We're back to square one. So good job by the defense there. So now let's get into the moments of the game. Second drive, Kenny Pickett is sacked by Harris coming off the edge. It backs the Steelers up to a 2nd and 14. The Steelers go for it on a 4th and 2 after a 12-yard pickup by Muth. And they pick up the first down with the pass to Harris out of the backfield. And Steelers later on in that drive was in a goal-to-go situation with a quick slant to Deontay Johnson. I wanted to take a moment, guys, and talk about that pass. If you guys remember that drive, that was a very nice drive, a good solid mix of run and pass. Najee had a solid run or two on that drive. But what I wanted to talk about was Kenny's decisiveness and just taking what's there, right? Hitting Deontay in stride and allowing him to get that yak. And I text Kenyon and Tony during the game, and I was like, that's what I need more of from Kenny. Because on that drive, he also had moments where he was reading his progressions. You guys know I've been on him about that, and I think he still needs to work on that, obviously. But the way he commanded that drive, well executed, man. It was well executed by the Steeler offense, and Kenny did a good job, like I said, just making quick decisions, making the right read, putting the ball right where it needs to be. That was cool. So anyway, from that point on, Steelers score with an inside give to George Pickens. So shout outs to Pickens kind of playing that that Claypool role, if you will. A quick handoff inside. He sneaks in, falls into the end zone. Voila. And again, I wrote here, well-executed drive by Pickett, a good mix of run and pass. Steelers at that point are up 7-0. Very next series, the Steelers were able to get off the field, forcing a 3rd and 9. But I wrote this note, and I don't think it came back to bite us at all later in the game. Obviously, it didn't because I don't remember hearing Kamara's name much. But on that defensive matchup, they were able to get Kamara matched up against Spillane. Y'all remember that? And I think it was Taysom Hill who threw the ball on that one, and he kind of overshot it. But, oh, boy, that's something that I was hoping we was not going to see much more of that later on. Text Kenyon and Tony during the game saying, hey, let's keep an eye on that matchup. Luckily, it never, turned into anything else later in the game, but that was just very interesting. Schemed up well by the Saints, getting Kamara matched up against Spillane, and that's just a death sentence right there. Okay, third offensive drive. The Steelers facing the 3rd and 8. Steelers unable to connect, but they get bailed out by a personal foul. It was a hit on Kenny. I said Kenny has to make a better throw of the ball there. Remember that 3rd and 8, he took that deep shot and it just went clear out of bounds. I think he was going to Deontay Johnson. There were some moments in this game where Kenny was not accurate whatsoever. Come on, Kenny. You've played at that field. I know it was a little, starting to get cold now in the area. It was a little windy. Excuse me. It was a little windy out there, it looks like, because it's windy here where I live, and I'm about 3 hours from Pittsburgh. But you've played in that environment, so we're going to need you to work on that accuracy, Kenny, because there was a couple times, I know y'all remember, a couple times in this game where I was like, come on, brother. Got to do better than that. But anyway, personal foul bails us out. Najee rips off a 36-yard run. Now, not only did he rip it off, it basically came from nice hold by the offense, but then he broke a tackle in the middle of the field and then went on to get tremendous, yards after contact after that. This is what we need from you, big boy. See what happened when you put your shoulder down? And then he tried to put his shoulder down again as he went out of bounds and got shaken up a bit. It is funny because my son was, my 9-year-old was here. He was like, oh, what happened to him? I said, oh, it looks like might have got the air knocked out of him. I know he went to the medical tent, but if you notice, when he got up, the ball was like in his stomach. And I was telling my son, that happened to me one time before. Running the ball, get tackled from behind, and I fell right on the ball. And I'm like, I was done. But it's like that, it just knocks the air out of you. But I don't know if that's what happened. I just said it looked like that based on how he got up, but then he kind of shook it off. So, maybe he got his bell rung a little bit, but still. Point being, when you use that size that you have, homeboy, that natural size that you have and that strength and the power in them legs, you lower that shoulder, you have a day like you had today. When you stop, getting your Gregory Hines on, this is the type of day you have. So that was cool to see. So I wrote here, Najee got shaken up. Steelers unable to convert a touchdown there, so they had to settle for a field goal. And at that point, the Steelers are up 10-0. Next defensive possession, the Steelers they forced the Saints into a 3rd and 7, and the Steelers get off the field with an excellent, and I wrote this in bold letters, excellent play by Arthur Marlette to knock the ball out of the hands of Chris Olave. Do you guys remember that play? I mean, for one, I owe Arthur Marlette an apology. I've been hard on you with your coverage. And every time I've been hard on you, you've made a play here and there. And I'm going to tell you, that play that he made today, phenomenal. Taking the inside position, running all the way with Olave, and he's face guarding. It's a little dangerous because if the ball is thrown short and the receiver runs back through you, it's a PI. So it's risky. But he played it perfectly, looked up, played the hands, and when they showed it in slow-mo, he all the way down until they hit the ground, then he rips the ball out. Excellent. So, Mr. Marlette, I apologize. Excellent play right there. And if you could give us that, I'm not going to beef too much about when you in the slot. Outstanding. Fourth drive, Steelers facing a 3rd and 9 after getting nothing on the first 2 plays, but they're unable to convert, and they go 3 and out. So Steelers, kind of stalled a little bit. And I noticed that offense did stall a little, man, in that second quarter. Didn't really get much going. Next defensive possession, the Steelers forced a 3rd and 7. Saints were able to convert. Later in the drive, the Steelers were facing a 3rd and 10, and TJ Watt was able to end the drive with the tackle on Andy Dalton. He did pick up a yard, so it was not a sack, but it was still TJ doing TJ things. It was good to see TJ back out there. Clearly, you see the difference he makes when he's out there, allowing other guys to get those one-on-ones and eat. Steelers give up. Oh, wait, what am I talking about here? Tackles Andy Dalton. Saints hit the field goal. It's 10-3. Fifth drive. Deontay Johnson draws a PI. And I put, it may have been a long touchdown. Do you remember that one? It was another slant. That's when we going this way, as opposed to this way. I know it's hard for me to illustrate, but, the quarter had flipped. So we were going the opposite end, and he threw the slant inside, and the kid, I think it was Taylor, held him. But that's when we were empty set. There was no safety in the middle of the field. If he is able to connect with Deontay right there, touchdown. And I wrote that. That would have been a long touchdown. That would have been about a 70-yard. I don't know where we were at, but yeah, that one would have housed because there was nobody there. But, didn't happen. Deontay picks up the first down on the next play, but then he gives it back, running behind the line. And that's my first office visit. Deontay, you don't have to come all the way in the office. Just come to the door. Man, please stop doing that, Deontay. Now, I can't say you've done it so much, but dude, I got to get on you there's a thing called field awareness. And sometimes you guys, and I say you guys because a lot of receivers do it, y'all just trying to continue to make the big play, and you almost costed us right there. Because we ended up if I'm not mistaken, let me look at my notes. Yeah, we ended up in a tight squeeze there. It ended up being 3rd and 1. So don't do that no more. Be aware of your surroundings. Put your head down and you didn't even have to put your head down. You caught the ball in front of the first down marker and then you run backwards. I don't know what you was doing there, but sometimes just get what you need to get. That's one thing I like about George Pickens, by the way, as a side note. George Pickens will see if there's somewhere for him to go, but he makes a decision really quick and just goes inside. Like he's really good with his awareness. I love that. We have a donation, guys, so I have to pause myself for a moment. Round of applause to CT Pittman. Yeah. Thank you very much, CT Pittman, for the donation. He says, everyone see why TJ Watt is so important. Just his presence changes the game. Yeah. All day. Your approach is different. So we pick up the first down with the other Watt. A handoff to Derek Watt picks up the first down, but then the Steelers are faced with a 3rd and 5 later in the drive. The Steelers give up a sack to end the drive, and there you have it. Nothing doing. Very next possession for the Saints, Highsmith gets a sack. This was the final drive by the Saints. The Saints were able to end that drive, however, with a touchdown after 2 penalties on the defense. Wallace kind of jumped out of position, as they illustrated on the on the replay. It was zone, and Andy Dalton is able to connect with his. I think the guy's name is Johnson, number 83, the tight end. But that was a tough blow because I just did not want us to go into the half like that, especially with the Saints getting the ball, and that's prime real estate right there. If you're the Saints, that's exactly what you intend to happen. You plan for that, like, bet, let's score and we get the ball back. So I wasn't feeling good about that going into the half. Coming out in halftime, Steelers facing a 3rd and 12, and the Steelers able to get off the field with the 3 and out. So again, Steelers defense showing up when they need to show up. So kind of made that whole point null and void, but still, you hate to give the Saints a touchdown right before the half to give them momentum, because if we could have kept our foot on their neck, you know what I mean? Make them fight from behind the whole time. 6th offensive drive. Kenny Pickett. Where are my notes? I think I scrambled something here. It's already been 24 minutes. I got to hurry up, guys. 6th drive. Kenny starts the drive with a 23-yard scramble. Pickett converts a 3rd and 3 with a quick strike to Pickens. It was a tight throw. Y'all remember that one? That's what I need to see from you, Kenny. That's an NFL throw right there. That's an NFL throw. But he's able to connect to Pickens for the first down. The next play, Pickens rips off a big run on the end around. But then right after that, Pickett gets sacked in a goal-to-go situation, and it was on first down. Backed us all the way up to about the 20-something. Najee unable to make a tough catch on that wheel route. Let me pause for a moment. Well, let me ask the question. I'm going to read the rest of that, and I want to know how you guys feel. Do y'all think Najee should have caught that? I put that it was a tough catch. Hit his hands. Y'all know my rules about when it hit his hands, but he's stretching. So do you guys think that Najee should have caught that, or do you feel like, okay, I can understand why he may not have got that one? But that's what I wrote here. Najee unable to make a tough catch on the wheel route. Kenny throws the ball behind Sims right after that on 3rd down on a quick screen. And, of course, what happens after that? Not Chris Boswell. Matthew Wright misses a field goal. So we did all of that for nothing. That long drive for nothing. And the game stays tied at 10-10. What'd you guys say? Leonard Green says yes. JJ Walker says yes. T-Dog says no. I ain't expect him to catch that. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Kenya says, yeah, that was a tough catch. I'm with you there. Reggie Red says yes. Mr. Elman says Najee should have caught it in bold. Okay. JJ Walker says Le'Veon caught a similar pass versus Jax. See, this is what we do sometimes. He ain't no Le'Veon. He's not Le'Veon. Remember, Le'Veon was arguably on his side, of course, but they were talking about him getting paid wide receiver and running back money. So we can't do that. And there go Victory saying it too. I get what you guys are saying, but Najee Harris is not Le'Veon Bell. M. Marcus says that's a receiver catch, not a running back catch. Okay, so we're kind of split. Y Diggy says I'm not going to beat up Najee for that. Yeah, that was a tough catch, man. That was definitely a tough catch. Mr. ABS says he's still a running back first, Sim. So yeah, it hit his hands, but that was a tough catch. That's where I'm at with it. And again, we all entitled to our opinions. I see you guys were kind of split on that. Maybe it's about 70-30. Yeah, we understand it was tough versus he should have caught it, but it's just an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, and this is what I like about what we do over here. So yeah, I wrote the sack killed that drive. Had we not given up that sack, I feel like the Steelers might have scored on that drive because sometimes you could just see the momentum happening, but we didn't. Wright misses the kick, and there you go. Steelers defense steps up again. Steelers force a 3rd and 10. However, they give it up to Olave. Sutton was in position, but I did write technically. He beat Sutton off the press and all of that, and it was a tight throw by Dalton, tight catch by Olave. And like I said, Sutton was there, but he missed it. But then later on, the Steelers forced a 3rd and 18. They're able to get off the field, so no harm, no foul with Sutton and Olave. Listen, no corner in the world is not going to give up anything. What I concern myself with cornerbacks and DBs in general, how close are they in relative to the ball, and do they tackle the catch? And I think we did that as a whole really well today. 7th drive. Drive starts on the 2-yard line after a tremendous punt by the Saints, how the ball just hooks out of bounds to the right. Steelers convert a 3rd and 1 with the QB sneak. Kenny then hits DJ on a deep shot to get into the red zone, and I was so happy to see that happen for 2 reasons. We needed it because when we was down on that 2-yard line, I didn't know if we were going to get a first down or not, and I just didn't know if we could drive the length of the field. So after getting the first down, I was happy about that. But the second reason I was happy about that, I told you guys that Kenny missed a couple deep shots early in the game. So it was good to see him come back and hit that one and still take the shot and not be gunshot. And whether that was a call from Canada or what have you, and by the way, I think Canada called a pretty good game today. I'm going to say that. I think we had a pretty good plan today. And not just because some of the plays worked. Again, I can identify a good play even when the play doesn't work. It wasn't like we lit it up, but I think we had a nice balanced attack today. But it was good to see Kenny go back, man, and it was good to see Deontay make that catch. Good to see Deontay still adopt a little AB semi push-off where, the refs ain't going to call it. And there you have it. So right after that, Steelers get into the red zone, but the Steelers once again have to settle for a field goal. And at that point, I'm sitting on my hands, nervous as I don't know what, because I don't know what Wright is going to give us, but he hits. And at that point, it's 13-10. Defensively, the Steelers come back and they force a what I put here? Steelers were forced to use a timeout, getting Alu off the field. So I notated that because that could have been important, that one timeout having to burn it. Steelers are able to force the Saints into a 3rd and 5, and that boy, Casey, gets a pick off of the deflection. And this is after, I want to make everyone aware. We got some nastiness going on here. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I got the browser up so I can catch them as I see them. Here come the nasty. I tell you, man. I guess it's fun for some people, but all right, I got it. I wanted to make sure everyone was aware, for you guys who have been to the stadium, and I'll say Heinz Field. because last year was Heinz. So for anybody who had been to Heinz Field prior to now, Acrisure, okay, you got me to say it. You all know how magical Renegade is. So I made sure to note that interception came off of the playing of Renegade. And if you know, you know. If you've been there to experience it, you understand it. And not to mention earlier in that drive, TJ made a nice run defense. So the defense was playing, they was hyped, they was pumped to get them into a 3rd and 5. And I'm not going to take away how good the coverage was by Levi Wallace on that particular play, because it forced Andy Dalton to kind of throw it a little bit high to get it away from Levi. Jarvis Landry unable to handle it, and KZ Johnny on his spot gets his interception, man. Listen, I love it. In position, the same way Minka has been in position at times. Outstanding stuff right there. 8th drive. I call this the Jaylen Warren drive. We started with Najee. He gets the ball, punched out on 1st down. And I saw that Mike Tomlin took him on out the game at that moment, to let him know, hey, brother. Come on, Najee. Now, I'm not going to beat Najee up about that. Najee had a great game overall. You see, I put it in the title. I think this was a bounce-back game for Najee. You got to secure the football, man. But, sometimes you got to give the defense credit for making plays. But, again, you got to secure the football. So what happens after that? Chooks recovers the ball. Kenny Pickett checks down to Jaylen Warren for a big pickup. Excellent run after catch by Jaylen Warren. Steelers later on is faced with a 3rd and 6 from the 12, and they convert again with the check down to Jaylen Warren. So that's why I wrote this was the Jaylen Warren drive. He put the drive on his back. Significant plays. And I, type here, 2nd catch by Jaylen Warren, Steelers were then faced with a 3rd and goal, and Freiermuth draws a PI in the end zone, which was clutch. I'm going to be honest with y'all, though. Can I be honest with y'all? I don't want no PI. Freiermuth ran into him. I wouldn't, if I'm the ref, I'm not calling that. And and I'm a real one when it comes to refs. Like I don't just get mad when it doesn't go in favor of my team. I call the BS when I see BS. That was BS, dog. I would not have called that. I'm just saying. I'm not mad. You could call it, but Muth he basically promoted that. You know what I'm saying? He influenced it. He initiated the contact. So I wouldn't have called that. But whatever. They called it. But obviously that helped us. We end the drive with a quarterback sneak to Kenny Pickett, and there's another touchdown. And it's funny because Kenyon texted me and said, man, this dude, Kenny Pickett, has run more QB sneaks in his short career than Ben Roethlisberger has his entire career. And I definitely agree with that. But then look at the defense, man, on the next defensive possession. Steelers able to force a 3rd and 1, and Cam Hayward and Larry Ogunjobi on the run stop on Kamara. Then Andy Dalton tries to get cute, quick snaps us, and the defense snuffs it out, stuffs the quarterback sneak. Robert Spillane all over top of that, throws him to the ground, and the Steelers get the ball right back. 1 second, guys. Need a water break. Steelers get the ball right back. However, they ain't do nothing. Steelers unable to pick up a 1st down. It was a sack on Kenny Pickett. And guess what? You guessed it. The 2nd office visit of the day. Matthew Wright. It's this way. I know you haven't been here. Yeah. Cut through there. Here you go. So where you staying? Oh, in a hotel. Oh, okay, good. Cause go ahead and check out. We're probably done with your services, dude. Come on, man. You can't miss. Listen, everybody misses a field goal from time to time. I understand it. But how you going to miss a field goal? 2, to be exact. In your debut, being back with the team in the state that you are from, because you're from Lancaster, PA, which ironically is not that far from where I live. So I'm here to put you on notice. I know I'm not an official organization member, but I'm here to let you know that your job is probably going to be challenged this week. So you might want to just go ahead and check out the hotel because you're probably going to get replaced. We can't have you doing that. You can't be coming in relief of someone else and miss 2 field goals, which could have cost the game. So I'm just going to give you that friendly advice. Don't get too comfortable in that hotel that you're in because you're probably going to be checking out soon. Oh, well, at least you're not that far from home. Going back to Lancaster. Yeah, guys, so y'all know the end of that story. 2 field goals. Listen. I know he's in a tough spot, but he kicked well for the Chiefs, and he knows Pittsburgh. It's just you just can't do that. You just can't do that. You can't. Can't come in relief of someone else and miss 2 kicks. But all right, let's keep it moving, man. Alex Highsmith gets another sack with a sack fumble on a first down. Steelers were able to force a 3rd and 10, and then Levi Wallace, man, picking the ball off from White again. Both him and Arthur Marlette made excellent defensive plays. I mean, Levi Wallace could not have covered that any better. Beautiful coverage, and not only just that, he comes down with the pick, rips the ball away. Outstanding coverage, man. And again, got to applaud that. So other than that, man, I don't really have to talk about the next drive. The Steelers converted a 3rd and 2 with a handoff to Sim. Steelers were then faced with a 3rd and 8. And guess who gets the big run? Jalen Warren. Steelers then able to close the game out with the handoff to Derek Watt. And there you have it. Your Pittsburgh Steelers win the game 20-10. Didn't surrender any points in the second half. Now, let me just give you my quick takeaways, man, and then I'll spend a few minutes in the chat. But like I told you guys, I got to get out of here. Got to eat dinner. And then myself, my son, my wife, father-in-law Leonard, who's in here, we're then going to go see Wakanda Forever at 6:20 Eastern Time. Again, please do not put any spoilers. No spoilers in the chat, please. Be considerate. Please. I beg you. But all right, here are my takeaways from the game, man. The Steelers ran the ball very well, particularly in the first quarter, and then we started running it very well after that. Yeah. Steelers finally able to have a run game that opened up some other things, that kind of kept this team off balance. And listen, it's not lost on me that the Saints were dealing with injury, but so are we. So I'm not going to, some people are going to say, oh, but it was the Saints. So what? We beat up too with key guys that were out or a key guy coming back. So, we did what we had to do. And again, don't have no crazy expectations. Just watch the team grow. So, it was good to see that offense finally have some balance. And again, I got to give a lot of kudos to the offensive line, man, in terms of opening up some holes. He gave up us a couple sacks today. Some of that was Kenny holding onto the ball at times. But offense, they opened up some holes today. And like I said, Matt Canada did a fairly good job today with play calling. When I rewatched the game, I will analyze his situational play calling, but I don't really think I can beat Matt Canada up at all today. So Matt Canada, good job with your plan today. I wrote here, Kenny has to be better with his deep shots, and also he's still throwing into coverage. Y'all saw that one again. Seems like he throws into coverage a lot when it's Muth. It's either Muth or Gentry. Like when it's a tight end, he threw into triple coverage again. So come on, Kenny. I know this is your growing pains. This is time, your time where you're going to grow up. But I'm just acknowledging some things that you still got to work on. Definitely got to work on that accuracy. And again, stop throwing into coverage like that. Don't lock in on targets. There were several times today that I thought that Kenny Pickett you could literally see him going through his progressions. That's what I like. That's what I like. So he's coming along. I think he handled himself well today. He didn't have these gaudy numbers or anything, but played well, man. With the amount of times that he scrambled out of the pocket and kept the drive going. So, let's watch this kid grow. Steelers defense stuffed the run today, man. I mean, they did a phenomenal job with that. Taysom Hill was a non-factor. Alvin Kamara was a non-factor. And, we forced the Saints to kind of get out of their plan. We forced them to put the ball in the air a lot. And honestly, they didn't really have to because they were in the game for a long time. But I think that's a testament to the defense being able to stuff the run. Steelers offense slowed down in the second quarter. So I notated that. And, the Steelers offense is still not this juggernaut. But the way they started off in the game was good. And I just didn't like how they kind of started to fade in that second quarter. But they came back around, man. They had some really solid drives in the second half. And unfortunately, we couldn't turn those drives into touchdowns. So that's another key that I have here. The Steelers definitely need to, get a little more consistent in the red zone. Because, again, there were at least 2 drives where you just knew they were going to score. They were marching right down the field. And they're unable to punch it in. And then you got a kicker who missing kicks at that. Come on, man. And I wrote that. Steelers may be looking for another kicker this week, or at least bringing in some competition. I highlighted George Pickens, man. George Pickens blocking downfield. I saw that quite often today, and I like how we're starting to bring George Pickens along. I can't wait till he starts to get a few more targets. But I will say this. That's why I can't wait to watch the film. Think about all them times when Kenny was holding the ball. Like, he had forever and a day back there. Oh, we got another one. Here we go, guys. Hold on. Think about those times when he had forever back there, right? And he was looking to hit somebody. So I'm wondering were some of those plays designed deep shots or something for Pickens. So I'm going to look to see if guys were getting open. But, maybe there were some more plays called for him. And the Saints did a relatively, good job in the secondary. So, again, you can't take away from what your opponent does to you as well. What else do I have? Highsmith had an outstanding game today, man. I didn't see his final stats. Actually, let me see if I can check them right now. Alex Highsmith. They have him with 2 sacks. They have him with 5 total tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Played well. Robert Spillane, 7 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Who else? Everybody else, was kind of spreading the wealth. I think TJ did a good job too on some of those key runs where you saw him making a splash early in downs. So yeah, guys played relatively well. But yeah, I definitely wanted to highlight Alex Highsmith. I wanted to highlight Jaylen Warren, and shout outs to Casey as well as showing up. And just the defense as a whole. Very proud of how the defense performed today, man. Really. Cornerbacks played relatively good. Like I said, they look really sticky. They look like they were in position even when, you didn't necessarily make a play. But just think about those plays that both Casey made, the play that, again, Marlette and Levi Wallace made. Those were individual plays, man. Outstanding. Especially both Marlette and Levi Wallace. Those were phenomenal plays in one-to-one situations. So I got to applaud the defensive secondary as a whole today. One thing that I didn't pay much attention to it, guys, was Miles Jack out there? I don't think Jack was out there. I don't think, because I know Jack, was a little banged up. He wasn't inactive. But now that I think about it, did you guys see Miles Jack? I saw a lot of Spillane and a lot of Bush. But honestly, I wasn't keying in on Jack. But usually when he plays, he does something. And I notice him. So maybe the Steelers felt comfortable, man. We were getting it done. They didn't, he was active, but they probably just didn't play him if they didn't have to. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was proud of that defense, man. I was really proud of the way the defense played today. Jack is hurt. Okay, but the question is, he's not on IR or anything. He was a full participant in practice Friday, even though he's dealing with a knee. So he was active. If I'm not, yeah, okay, there you go, Wave Dave. He said, no, he was dressed for emergencies. Okay, makes sense. And you did get a couple times where Bush and Spillane were put out in the slot. And sometimes, guys, I know we all get upset about that. It's going to happen. As long as it happens minimally, I'm not too mad at it, because it depends on, sometimes you're going to catch teams in the wrong personnel. We do it too. But as long as we're not doing that on a consistent basis, because I don't know if y'all saw this, one time, and it was a penalty on the Saints. TJ Watt was in the slot against Landry. I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, here y'all go, man. Y'all be talking about everything but the game. How y'all get on LeBron? What are y'all talking about? Oh, Afro Thunder says, Tomlin said they held out Miles Jack. Okay, that's cool. But all right, man, let's spend a few minutes in here in the chat. Like I told you guys, I want to wrap this one up, man. It's been 47 minutes. Let me tell my lovely lady I'm about to wrap up. But what y'all got? Can't wait to see this Wakanda Forever, man. I'm hearing that it's a good one. And, I'm one of those people that don't generally like sequels. I say that because a lot of times not everybody does it good. There's some sequels that stand out to me that were good. Like Bad Boys 2. I liked Bad Boys 2. I think they took it to another level from the original. What else? I'll give you an old school one. I like Godfather 2. To me, was dope coming off the original one. And it's others, but a lot of times sequels. But like I said, please, no spoilers. What y'all got, man? Rajan said he's going today as well. Yeah, I hear it's a good one, man. My good brother Kenyon gave me the thumbs up, so that, yeah, I know it's probably worth seeing. What's up, Debbie? Hey, Debbie. Make sure you guys say hello to Miss Debbie, man. Another wonderful lady of the chat. Debbie says, yeah, still a lead, and remember he was not as good as a rook. Okay, y'all talking about somebody. So I can't go back and see the whole conversation there. You said the game didn't come on in your area. Probably it didn't come on in my area either, but it's it's the cable that I got. It's the cable that I got. I got, again, it's one of those IPTVs. And it's basically internet cable, and I can see everything. I have literally every NFL channel, every basketball channel, NCAA channel. It's one of those. But even for some of you guys that don't, there are links and stuff like that you can find. I usually don't give recommendations, only because some of those links have pop-ups and stuff, and I don't want to be responsible for somebody getting a virus or something. So I would just say you can search it. There's ways for you to watch streamed links of games and stuff, but mine personally, like I have an IPTV program that just gives me all of that access. And that's how I'm always able to watch the game, even when they don't show it here. What y'all got? Top Gun 2, Terminator 2. Yeah, Wave Dave, I haven't seen Top Gun. I heard Top Gun was dope, though. A lot of people telling me that you should see it. They were like, nah, you should see part 2. What else y'all got? So I don't want to get too far off of on the Steelers topics, because I'm only going to be here a few more moments. Kenya said Antoine. I should have known. Antoine always in here talking about basketball. What up, Antoine? Oh, Kenya put it in bold caps. I saw JJ Walker said some people said it's not good. And that's the thing. I'm one of those, I have trusted people. But I'm also one of those people, I don't go with the masses. If I see somebody say they don't like a movie online, I'll still see it for myself and decide. It's the same thing with music. But there's certain people I'm always going to trust. You have certain people that y'all going to align So if they tell me something is good, then I can rest assured that it's going to be good. All right, let's get back to this, man. A few more moments. CT Pittman, I'm telling you, dog. And listen, my father-in-law put me onto it. My wife's father put us onto it over a year ago, and it's what it is. Mr. ABS says, Sim, as much as fans get on Canada, I wonder how much vanilla we complain about it from the fact that the offense is extremely young and he needs to keep it simple. These guys are a few years from high school ball. That is a fact. That is a fact, and I think that does get lost a little bit, Mr. ABS. And y'all know I've been on Canada too, and my stuff is more so what he tries to stick with. Like, it seems like a lot of times in these past games, he sticks to something that's not working, and he doesn't throw any little mixture in there. Today, even though the plays were, like you said, kind of vanilla, it wasn't nothing that, whoa, I never seen that before, but it was a mix. It was a mix. I also saw that we did start running a little bit of that split zone today. You know, where you have a guy coming blocking on the backside. We saw a little bit of that. We actually ran it back to back one time. So even if you're keeping it simple, it's about mixing it up, you know, and kind of keeping the defense on their toes. So what else y'all got? What else y'all got? Anything else, guys? If not, I'm going to roll. Somebody said Josh Allen choked. Josh is hurt, though, right? So Minnesota came back and won that? Why Diggy says, I want to see more of Sims in the slot. Oh, you will. I think we'll see more of that, definitely with Claypool not being there. Leonard Dodd says, we got a lot of, I'm going to say, is it Leonard or Leonard? Because your name is spelled a little different. And I have met people in the past that they pronounce it Leonard. Yours is kind of spelled like Leonard Dodd, so I'm going to say it like that. And you can correct me. He says, where those Tomlin haters at now? Yeah, but you know that people that just don't like him, one game don't make a difference. Because, you know, their argument right after that is going to say, they're going to come back and say, oh, well, he's still 3-6. You know, like I said, I don't jump into those conversations no more. Bills lost. Okay, Josh Allen picked to Patrick Peterson. Wow. Man, Pat Pete's still out there doing work. Not that many targets to pick us today. I did notice that too, Reggie Reg. But again, if you hear what I said a little earlier, I can't wait to watch the film. Because if y'all notice, there were times when Kenny had a lot of time. And sometimes, you know, he danced around back there because of pressure, you know, and that's a thing. And it's funny. I forget who the commentators was, but even they mentioned it. Kenny does look to bail out outside a lot. So some of that pressure felt like he was creating a little bit. But there were also times where he had the ball for 3 seconds, it seemed like, before the pocket collapsed. And for those, I can't wait to see if it was because guys weren't open or, you know, the Saints were playing good defense on the back end. So some of those may have been targets to pick it. Because, again, we never know who the target is when the ball isn't thrown. You understand what I'm saying? You can kind of see it on the all 22 because you can kind of see where his eyes are going and stuff like that. Couple more, guys, then I'm up out of here. Oh, y'all doing the LeBron versus Jordan thing? Dog. I just don't jump into that no more. To me, I'll say this, and I hate to because this is not, I'm not here for this. I'm here to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers today. But I will say this. I saw Shaq say in a recent interview, and I totally agree with him. When you talk about greatest and best, it's eras. I go with eras. I mean, arguably, people can definitely say Jordan was the greatest because of how he played and how he never lost. But then you always have those people who oppose that, right? And they don't care that LeBron has been to so many finals and to me is errors. Because again, Bill Russell got more rings than anybody. So why isn't he the greatest? You understand what I'm saying? So it always depends on what angle people are taking. That's why I don't. It's errors. It's errors. And I personally don't understand the LeBron versus Jordan thing. They don't play the same position. They don't play the same type of ball. That's it. That's it. That's where I fall with that. They don't even play the same. So, and here's one other caveat. And this could be a reason why some people will say LeBron is the GOAT. Look how long he playing. That's another wrinkle. All right, man, give me 2 more Steelers things so I can close this show up. Kenyon. So all them stats don't mean nothing. Yeah, man. I always hear that LeBron better than Jordan argument. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And for the record, y'all know where I fall on that. I'm going to say Jordan because of his stellar record in the finals. And because of Jordan was a killer. Bron don't really have that. Maybe in his latter years, he tried to develop it. But I'm a LeBron fan. LeBron is dope. Like, LeBron is an excellent basketball player. One of the greats, in my opinion. But I'm always going to say Jordan just because of the whole package of Jordan. How that dude would dominate. His mentality, all of that resonates with me. That's why I always say the better comparison to me is Kobe and Jordan. You know, we back. All right. I was answering one last question. C. Antoine Hill said, how did the offense look without Claypool? And y'all confirm that I'm back. Because I'll end it with this last comment. But, and I'll wait till somebody says y'all can hear me because it's, stream is always behind. Y'all still saying lost sound. We back. All right. I'll end it with this. He said, how did the offense look without Claypool? And I said, did you miss him? And I don't know if that's an indictment against Claypool. I'm just saying it looked like I didn't feel his presence being missed. And that's not a good thing, for anybody who advocated for Claypool. And again, like I said, I think Claypool in the right situation will thrive. I think he's talented. Will he ever turn into a great receiver? We don't know. But we didn't miss him. Didn't miss him. I will say this, though. I didn't notice too many slot-like shots taken. We ran a couple screens to Sims, and we tried to hit Deontay on a slant or two, but I didn't notice a lot of slot-like routes. So maybe it's just Matt Canada still not necessarily utilizing that position, but yeah, we didn't miss him. The offense looked the exact same. Did decent at times, and I think that's because of the run game, but they still looked stagnant at times as well. So yeah. But all right, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Like I said, I'm going to eat dinner right now. I'm going to check out Wakanda Forever. So Leonard, I know you're listening again. It starts at 6:20, so I think we'll probably get out of here about 5:45-ish, something like that. But yeah, and maybe I'll let you guys know on Tuesday whether I liked it or not. But all right, that's going to do it for me, man. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Hey, we got to win. And on Tuesday, I'll talk a little bit more about how this game transpired after I dissect the film. And yeah, happy to say we won another game. Before I go, I'm going to hit you with this. Boom. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications. And that's all I need you to do. Outside of that, watch some more football. Have fun tonight. Being proud in the airport, like my man said, with your Steelers gear. And yeah, stay safe. God bless. Good night. Thank you for tuning in to the post-game reaction show. Peace.